G'day guys, you might remember some time ago, if you've been watching the channel for a while, we did a bit of a test recipe with Chinese roast pork. Now we're having a second crack at it. The first one was okay, but I thought there could be some adjustments to the recipe. So I've got quite a big lump of belly pork here, and the first thing we're going to do with that is whack it in some boiling water with some peppercorns. We've got some Szechuan pepper this time rather than black pepper. So we're going to whack that into boiling water for 10 minutes. Okay, so we're just going to wait 10 minutes for that, and we'll bring it out, dry it off, and we're going to do this in two parts this time. Instead of doing the whole lot in one day, I'm doing the preparation the day before. So we're going to get everything ready today and just do some last minute bits and pieces tomorrow. But the main reason I want to do this is to try and get it to dry out as much as possible in the fridge overnight, to still get the flavours into it and to have the powders, the salt, the sugar and the rice wine, and hopefully that will help it to marinate a bit and give a stronger flavour. What we found last time is the flavour wasn't quite strong enough, so we're hoping to improve on that with this attempt. The basic ingredients we're using is some rice wine vinegar. We've got some Chinese 5-spice, some MSG for all the wildly health conscious people. You can omit that one if you want. Sugar, some white pepper, some baking powder, and a little bit of ground up Szechuan with some salt. And what else have we got in there? Oh, it's just Szechuan salt and pepper. So that will all go into the pork today once we've finished boiling it, and then we'll pop it in the fridge overnight, and hopefully that'll help it to marinate a bit. Okay, so we want to dry this out a bit, so I'm just going to pop it up here and let it cool down for a little while before we start to do the seasoning and cutting. Okay, now that's had a little time to settle down and cool down a bit, and I think the reason we do this and boil it first, twofold. Firstly, to get it to a point where we can cut it fairly easily, and we can use this little gizmo here to put some holes in the skin, which is what I'm going to do first. Now last time I didn't do this until after I'd cut the meat on the other side, which I think was a mistake. I think you should actually go through and do this bit first, because otherwise the meat tends to start to fall apart when you do this bit. So while that's all one piece, and you can see it's been scored again, they seem to come that way from the shops. But we want to get as many little holes in here as we can. So you give it a good stabbing all over. So the next bit is to flip it over, and this is where we've got a couple of peppercorns on there. Don't worry, it's not cockroach poop. And this is where we slice it. So we want the meat to slice, but not the fat. You don't want to cut it all the way through, and you can see there it's quite uncooked on the inside, so we're going to have to do that fairly slowly on the barbecue to make sure that that cooks all the way through. But we'll be doing that tomorrow. So we'll try and get these as nice and square as possible. Got to be careful not to press all the way down through the fat. Be fairly careful because this is a pretty sharp knife I'm dealing with here. I tend to be a bit clumsy with knives sometimes. So firstly I'm going to put the Chinese 5-spice on. I don't think it really matters what kind of order you put these in. I'm going to put a little bit more than I did last time because last time the flavour was just a bit lame, and the 5-spice is actually quite an important flavour in the roast pork. A bit of a tight top on that one. This is sugar. I'm not going to put too much of that. And just keep a teaspoon sprinkled all over the top there. Some white pepper. I'll just put a sprinkle of that on. And we've got the Szechuan pepper and salt. So I'm not going to add any extra salt to this side because it's already mixed in with this powder. I'm going to put too much salt. So I just go for the Szechuan bits that are in there rather than the salty bits. Still a little bit of salt around there. Then we have the MSG. Not too much. And the other ingredients, they are for the top, and we won't be using those until tomorrow. So now it's just a matter of working all that into the meat, mixing it up, making sure that all those flavours get well into the pork. Okay, we're just going to squeeze that into here somehow. Just pop that in for the... And we want to leave it open in the fridge. We don't want to put a top on it because that'll just help some of the moisture come out of it. Doesn't look very great at the moment, but hopefully by the time that's cooked tomorrow, it's going to look rather more appetizing. You note this is a different fridge this time for this video to the last one, but it is every bit as untidy and full of rubbish, because that's what women do to fridges, unfortunately. This was a man's fridge, it would be full of beer, cheese and bread and not much else. But women have tons of ingredients. And someone's listening behind me there, so she's hearing my commentary. And as you can see, that fridge is in no better shape than the other one was. Okay, so we are next day. I have put the rice wine vinegar on the skin, added a bit of salt and the baking powder, and now we are getting the skin done, at least to start off with. And some very nice crackling sounds coming from under there, but there won't be much action yet. It's only just gone on. So we shall see how it goes this time. So there's one absolutely essential ingredient you have to have when you're cooking on the barbecue. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but here it is. It's not a barbecue unless you got one of these. Now I've pushed it right to the back there so it gets the most heat to get that fat crisping away. Probably be about 5 to 10 minutes before it really gets nice and crispy. And I'll check it every few minutes just to make sure that it's going well. Now, although this is not a traditional barbecue with steak, I still need to have this essential ingredient. Oh, and it goes down an absolute treat. Homemade, this one. Not a big head on it, but plenty of fizz, and it doesn't go flat while you're drinking it. So even though it doesn't look like there's a lot of fizz in there, still quite a few bubbles, and it stays nice and fizzy till the last drop. Oh, that's nice. Well, it seems to be coming along quite nicely. Starting to crisp up well. We don't want to get it black, so I keep moving it around. But so far so good. I need to get it a little bit more crispy than that. But with the controlled heat of this barbecue, as opposed to the other one we did it on, where the heat is very uncontrolled, this looks like it's going to come out and be somewhat, well, a lot better, let's say, than the other one was, even though the other one was okay. And hoping the flavour of this one's going to be better too. She's looking pretty good, just standing her up to get the edges done as well. Let's get those edges a bit crispy. And I don't think we're too far away now from chopping it up and seeing what it tastes like. Everything.
I'm talking about your surgery now, that it will come to pass. It's just that thinking about it, what is going to happen, doesn't make it any faster. When it comes, it comes. I don't think about it now.
Now, I hope this came out well this time. Okay, this is the finished result. We've got some kolan there, fried up with some oyster sauce, garlic, ginger, and the roast pork, hoping it's all cooked nicely. There's a little bit of pink in there, but I think it's already cooked okay. And to go with that, a big pot of rice. Try the crispy.
Crispy enough, but my teeth is weak, okay?
Yeah, but taste?
This one is okay.
Good. This one? Over there?
Oh gosh.
You got to do it too. You got to do it too.
Why am I having a knife?
How would I know?
Why don't I have a spoon?
Because I gave you a knife. So, reaction? For a home cook, not bad. Okie dokie, well, that's the reaction. I can't say it was overwhelming. But that's the result, guys. Okay, more 5 spice again. I put a lot more than last time. So we think we still need more 5 spice in it. Any more salt? Is salt right, or a bit more salt?
I'm not a salty person, so don't ask me. I think it's alright.
Alright for salt. Okay, so we need some more 5 spice. So this is our second attempt, and we still haven't put enough 5 spice in this thing.
Maybe my 5 spice was a bit old. We need a fresher stuff.
Okay, well, there's the result, guys, and you might want to give this a go yourself. It's pretty easy to do. The preparation looks like it's a bit of a pain, but as I say, you don't have to do it overnight. You can do it all on the same day if you want to, and it would be a pretty interesting little meal to have out when you're camping. Easy enough to do on the barbecue, so not a bad thing when you're out in the bush, and pretty tasty. That's it for now. Thanks for having a look, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.